Yo, yo, it's your man Jam C,
Yo, 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 it's your favorite Republican,
and we are going
Republican
vocal.
Luke.
Yes, and we are
Yes,
going
sir.
vocal. Peace,
We
peace,
are
peace.
going vocals. We
How you
are
doing, Sid?
talking. Hey, I'm good, man. It's just we living in a crazy time, man. We living in a crazy time.
Yeah, somebody brought to my attention, and I guess in my own ignorance, in my own world, in my own journey, with everything going on in today's climate, I just been more. I think I've been kind of more selfish and focusing on things that I need to do just for self. Just as a black man, with everything going on with the black culture, the black power movement, this administration is and how racism is playing a big part. I had no idea that 300,000 black women had been laid off from, I guess, from February 25 to April 2025. I did not know that 300,000 black women lost their jobs
Hmm.
after the DEI movement. And that's counting.
Mm, that's wild to hear that
Yeah.
kind of that's wild. I know one prominent lady, African American, who she oversaw the Library of Congress, and she
Mm-hmm.
had been there for years. And once this new administration took over, she lost her job. And I'm saying to myself, it's the Library of Congress. Like, how could she be of any threat? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she overseeing the library, she overseeing books. You understand what I'm saying? But for whatever reason, they got her out of there. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she was one of the 300,000 that you're referencing,
I'm
which is
sure.
which is a which is an astronomical number of women losing their jobs. That's sad.
And be clear, Library of Congress, what that is they oversee a lot of things. Movies, songwriting, any historical writings or musical, anything that has to do with entertainment, literature. That's pretty much what the Library of Congress oversees. So any public works that you have and writings in or recordings in, she oversaw all of those things,
Hmm.
which is very important, by the way.
Oh, definitely, hands down.
And then just to see, like, yo, it just seemed crazy how they're trying to. This is like a new modern day way, the way they're trying to figure out racism because they can't bring back segregation, so they trying to find creative ways to make it a law. You don't want to outlaw, so that's why now they're saying that you have a right to. You can now serve who you want to serve. Any establishment in some states now can serve who they choose to serve and not choose to. Which, I mean, I think you always could do that to a degree, but now it's like you could be now you could do it without being penalized in some
Yeah,
states. So without the sign exactly saying colored only and whites only, this establishment could decide that they don't want to serve you for whatever reason.
yeah. I think it's it would be a bad move on your part as a business owner, only because of how social media can get something around the world and it's at the blink of an eye, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
bad thing you want is your name or your establishment being known as just serving one race or not willing to serve any race, right? And
Mm-hmm.
look how silly that sounds. Like, you're willing to turn away $1, right, just because of nation,
Yes,
someone's nationality, which is crazy. Which is crazy to me. But I'm pretty sure that there are people who willing to exercise that right. You know,
absolutely,
who's willing to
absolutely.
exercise that right. And so, with that being said, all you could do is just, if you don't have a higher power, now is to find one, or if you have one, get closer to him. You
To it,
understand?
absolutely.
Because I've never seen anything in my years of existing on this earth where the government shuts down, right?
That part.
The
That
government shuts down. I've never seen anything like this. But I tell you what, the government may be shut down, but whoever taking them taxes out my check, they still working.
yeah, that part. Because look, I ain't
They
gonna lie. When they said shut down, I'm like, Yes, I get to live tax free until they up, but they still
Nah,
taking that money. They
nah,
still
they
taking
need
that
that
money.
bread. Nah, they
Yeah.
need that bread. They need that. They're on that bread. You better believe that. And so, and even in that, just thinking of government and the jobs that people held and positions that they hold, and people aren't coming to work, or people coming to work and not getting paid. Could you imagine that?
So
Like,
that's
to
so
work
that's
and
my
not getting paid.
thing. How does that work? Now, not to cut you off, but how does that work? You got TSA airports being overrun with people, drones of people, and there's no staff. There's not enough staff to man them. So flights are being delayed. They're encouraging people to show up hours among hours earlier because you may miss your flight with the number of staff and lack of staff because people are not getting paid. So what do they get? Some sort of back pay if
They
once
getting
they
back.
come back?
They getting back pay. Yeah, those who come to work will get the back pay. Those who just home chilling, they won't get any back pay. Like, it's no
Okay.
fault of their own while they're
Yeah.
not at work. You know what I'm saying? It's just two entities that just can't come together
Yeah.
on one common ground. And not just TSA, but think about the air traffic controllers.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of planes that's grounded because nobody
Yeah.
can guide them in and get them
Got
out.
'em up.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Get them out. So
Yeah.
just think about
Yeah.
that part of it. You know what I'm saying? Where not only TSA checking people in, but all right, we could get you checked in, but
Who
is your
taking you
flight gonna
off?
pull off? Is your
Yeah.
flight gonna pull off? I
Oh,
just
that
seen a
shit.
thing.
That
I
shit
just
gonna
seen it.
land.
I just seen a thing today where all flights were canceled. Like, I'm like, they cancel every flight. Like, they cancel every flight because there is no air traffic control. And
Mm.
you just seen the runway. What, like, I've never seen that many planes on the runway ever in my life. It was like 25 planes, like, back to back,
Shit.
back to back. I'm like, what the hell? And like, I'm like, well, why are these people sitting on these planes if they're not going anywhere? Let them
Yeah.
off. Let them off. Ain't
Yeah.
nobody can. That's just one person up there that's that's working. But I'm pretty sure you need more than one person to man that
Absolutely.
station.
Absolutely.
And
Sheesh.
and think about that though, right? The government shutting down. We rely on our government so much for so many different
For
things,
so many things.
so
Yes.
many different things, and if they're shutting down, then where that leaves us, like the country still runs and still moving forward without the government being up and running and certain jobs not being up and running, but we still rely on them on so many different things. Like what if our military decided just to say we ain't getting paid, so I ain't fighting.
Fuck it. Yeah. We just
You
gonna
know what I'm
sit.
saying?
We
We ain't
gonna
getting
sit.
paid, so I ain't gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? That'll be crazy, right? That leaves us so vulnerable for other
Country.
countries to come in and
Yeah.
attack. You know what I'm saying? Um, just think about what we have, where we're set up in other countries. That are allies or whatever. And we're set up
Hmm.
there, and our military, and we're there to protect them. And our military force decided, like, no, we ain't going to work because we ain't getting paid. Like,
Rain jacket. Yeah.
look how
Yeah.
crazy that sounds, bro. That's
Yo.
crazy.
Then you looking at were you surprised about the results of them giving back the SNAP instead of remember they were stopping the SNAP program, but they reversed it. The courts appealed it and reversed them. Trump, his people, doing away with the SNAP. Were you surprised by that at all?
I was not surprised at that because too many people rely on it. You cannot not have these people not um, eating, right, or not getting their benefits. So this is the only way that they will be able to feed themselves and survive, right?
Hmm.
And you just cannot cut that off. That's like you're cutting off their lifeline in so many words. You know what I'm saying? So I had it had to come back. I couldn't see it not coming back. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that because we are not the majority population in this country, so I think that the reason why it got declined was because the majority, that being a Caucasian man and woman, they are the majority. They are also the majority who receives the SNAP program, which is some of them are the people who voted for him. So I think that that was the reason why I stopped. Because I think had it been um, indigenous people like the black and brown community, if we were the majority, I think it would have got alleviated. Now, would have lasted? Who knows? But I think the initial shock would have hit us probably for some time before it was reinstated. But I think because we are not the majority and that they are the majority is the reason why it got overturned. That's just my humble opinion.
I just hate the fact that, you know, when something happened, we played a race card. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I hate that we do that. But I will say this, regardless of who's the majority, who's the minority, it is an important entity that helps keep this country or keep people of poverty or people that need assistance, keep them afloat. Like they
Mm-hmm.
gotta have it. I just think about somebody such as myself who grew up on government assistance, and I've never not known that government assistance to never not come. It
Yeah.
come like clockwork. The first, the
Mm-hmm.
third, the fifth, whatever. Whenever it
Mm-hmm.
comes like clockwork. I remember times where if you was from my hood, you had to be a thorough mailman to drop them things off on the first. That's when people were getting the checks and they had to wait for the
Yeah.
mailman to drop it off.
Yeah.
You had to kind of be thorough because if you was running late or you had a flat tire or something, your jokers is feeling away by the time you get to like, where you been at? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and to think about it, people waiting down in the mail room, waiting for those, waiting for them to fill a box or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Those was that was a wild time. But my point in saying that is that I've always seen the assistance come through faithfully, and for to
Mm-hmm.
see it not come through, I'm like, yo, that's crazy right there, And it didn't
Yeah.
dawn on me until because October 1st is when the shutdown kind of happened, right? And
Yeah.
so now we're rolling up on November 1st, and it was a couple of days before November 1st, and I'm listening to the news. I'm really basically following um, the hurricane in Jamaica, Hurricane
Mm-hmm.
Melissa, and and
Mm-hmm.
and, and God, please cover those people over
Yeah.
there and allow
Yeah.
them to get back on their feet and get up
Yeah.
and running and cover
Mm-hmm.
those who may have lost things and restore it back to new. But I was listening for that, because I know people who live over there, who have families over there, and
Absolutely.
they were really concerned. So that's what I turned on the news to kind of follow that. And then I hear that the state was filing a lawsuit against the presidency to tap into an emergency fund to cover the S.N.A.P program that wouldn't be funded because of the government. I'm like, wait, so the state on the state level was still suing the presidency. So it just so you could just imagine basically all
Mm-hmm.
52 states or all 50
Yeah.
states was following one lawsuit against the
Yeah.
presidency. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And its administration. So when I heard that, I was like, wait, that don't even sound like that. I couldn't even imagine like
Mm-hmm.
them programs or that benefits not hitting the way they're supposed to hit. I just couldn't even imagine that. And now that we're living in a day and time where it's true, it's happening. It's really going down. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it blows my mind every time I think about it. And it's even sadder when you get one side blaming the other, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Republicans
Blaming
blaming
the
the
Democrats.
Democrats,
Democrats.
Democrats
Yeah.
blaming the Republicans. Like,
Yeah.
regardless of who's at fault, get it fixed. Get it
Yeah.
fixed. Stop with the dick swinging contest.
That part. And let's be clear, America. We take this as a wake up call. I think we all need to be trying to figure out the way to just take care of ourselves, take care of home first. This both parties are like it's like it's almost like big brother, little brother. Right now, they both throwing temper tantrums. Because after Trump, we really don't have a candidate. No, who's coming after on either side? Who do you? I see nobody coming after him. What he's doing is making it hard for the next person. He's making it extremely tough for the next person. If he could get another term, he would go for it. Because the way he's running this country, the way this country's being ran, is almost like it's almost like a business going out of business. And he's taking everything he could get right now. So when the business folds, it goes into bankruptcy. So it's almost like this country is going to be it's going to be worse off than it was before he came in.
But don't misunderstand. He's trying to get another term. He's trying to get when his time is up, it's gonna be some. I don't, he ain't going away quiet. You best believe that. When 28 election come around, he is not going away quiet, right? And he's gonna start some mess, with and think about it, right? This is first year in office, right?
Yeah,
He ain't even got a full year in office, and all this stuff is kicking up. You understand what I'm
yeah,
saying? And it's 3 more years of this shit.
yeah. Sheesh.
3 more years. Now I kind of feel like, damn, I wish I grew in the country. I wish I grew up on the farm in the country where I could have my own cattle, my own
Yeah, that part.
everything, my own
Yeah, yes,
my own
yes.
garden and all that stuff, and I could rely on my own resources, as opposed
Yeah,
to trying to run to the grocery store and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have a garden, now is a good time to start
a
growing one.
growing one. Yeah, believe it or not, more and more people now are gardening at home. Whether they have a backyard or they have it on Amazon. You can have
Hydroponics.
these little you can actually
Hydroponic was the one in the
yeah
house. Yeah.
yeah.
I was
So
thinking about buying one of them things.
yeah, so it's a mess out here now. I don't know what the world is going to look like or what this nation is going to look like in the next year. I can't even. I'm thinking about the next 2 years, but what about what is it going to look like next year?
God forbid. I mean, if you have small children, grandchildren, all you can do is pray for them. Because God knows what this world is gonna look like for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, how difficult it will be. Like, Social Security won't be around. All those things will be
yeah,
done up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I don't know. I just you know you just gotta pray for this younger generation, and thinking you're gonna be an influence. Everybody can't be an influencer. You
no,
understand what I'm saying? Everybody can't be a YouTuber. Everybody can't be
mm-mm.
a podcaster. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
you're gonna have to make way. You have to make way and learn some other skills. AI is taking over everything. You understand
Yes,
what I'm saying? They in every aspect of
yes,
everything. They in
yes,
everything, right? So if they got Ubers and there's no driver in the car and it's getting you to your destination, what's that telling you? Like, eventually we ain't gonna need humans. You understand what I'm
yes.
saying?
And they're
It's
already doing
crazy
that
that
in
stuff.
some parts of the country. They're already doing
Yeah,
that in some parts of
definitely.
the country. So
Definitely. I just seen a family member who got in a Uber and there wasn't a driver there, and they didn't know how to feel. Like, I don't know if
yeah,
I'm scared. I don't know if I'm excited or I'm tripping out. You know what I'm saying? Because
yes,
there's literally nobody in the
yeah.
front seat of the
In
car
the car.
driving
I
them.
saw that. I saw that when I was in Arizona. I didn't know how to feel about that. I didn't actually partake in it because I had a rental, but I actually saw people getting around in a car with no driver. I didn't know exactly how I could relate. I didn't know how to feel about that. Like, wow, this is where we're going.
Yeah, this is crazy. But I just think how our government. I think this administration, or supporters of Trump, right? Because that's what this is all boils down to. And he wants to change the Constitution, and which he can't change it, but if he get enough people that's influenced by him, they'll support him,
Hmm.
and he could basically get what he wants. Just think about the insurrection on Capitol Hill, right? that's something that was probably who would ever thought to attack Capitol Hill before? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And it
yeah,
wasn't that people went against they went against the constitutional right. They broke a law, of course,
yeah.
but he has just that much influence where he can excite a
Hmm.
riot like that and get people
Hmm.
to overtake something. You know what I'm saying? So that is wild within itself, bro.
Dangerous.
Wild within itself. So if we're not careful, man, and them supporters that get behind him, and this man could probably do some real damage to this country if you know somebody don't stand up against him, or somebody be like, yo, enough is enough, bro. You wilding,
Yeah,
like you wilding, you doing too much. But if he get his influence, it's people that just behind him so much. And what's up with this ballroom he trying to build? I don't get it. And then
yeah,
he asked the Washington Commanders, well, if they when they build a new stadium, could they name it after him?
yeah. He's trying to be like a king, a tyrant.
Correct.
So it's like
Correct.
it's man, wow. And to your point, like you said, and not to make light of it, but it's just like he has what Beyonce and Cardi B and Nicki Minaj had when Beyonce had the beehives. I don't know what they call Cardi's. Nicki Minaj is the Barbies. So I
The
guess Trump,
bar, the
yeah, the
bar.
Barbs. So I guess Trump's is the orange heads or some shit like that. But it's like they all got, he. But you're right. Like his influence is ridiculous. I didn't realize how ridiculous it was until that happened. Like
Hmm.
one man, just like people are really fascinated, allured by that energy. It makes it
Yeah,
feel like
they
he's
believe
the
that he
second
could.
coming or what. Yeah, it's like,
They believe he could do it. Like it was just I seen a video the other day. These people were literally in line um, at a food bank, and it was the other race, right? And so the
mm-hmm.
guy that was filming, he said, "What them red hats now, right?
Hmm.
Well those red hats I was wearing before. While y'all and one guy said, "Get out of here! It's cold. Nobody want to talk about no red hat. We're trying to get some food here. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get some food here. You know." And it just make you think like, yo, you probably some people are probably being loyal to the wrong cause.
Yeah,
You know,
out of ignorance,
you're
out of
being loyal
ignorance.
to the
Yeah,
wrong cause. So we'll see. We just have to wait and see and pray that you know for a good outcome.
yeah.
That's what we could do, man. Because this thing is cynic. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. You know.
Better. Yeah. I mean, you look at the right now as you see it, and I'm gonna say this in closing. Right now, what you see from city to city, started in New York, but you're starting to see a lot of other cities do that with the ICE agents coming in and making unlawful pickups. Now you see local police kicking ICE out of the communities, like telling them if they're here, like, no, you can't, nah, you're not coming here doing that.
Mhm.
Shout out to the New York Police Department, for standing up because shout out to Mayor Ras Baraka and North, for these people stood up against the injustices that's happening. Because again, if you're in the country illegal, you hopefully you're not a wanted criminal or no shit like that. But just to be going, because at the end of the day, some of these people are American citizens and they just being picked up and being locked away until everything gets sorted out, which is fucked up because some of these people had livelihoods. You can lose your job. But what's to stop you or I from walking to the grocery store and some guys in some military jackets just want to just pick you up,
Right.
lock you up,
Right.
and before you can get your ID out, you're in the back of a car going to a fucking camp that they storing other human beings and that look just like us.
Right. No, no, I get it. It, I have a friend, right? Um, she, I work with her, and I remember when she came to the company that I work for, she wanted to be put on the books, right? And she came from Jamaica, so she was here on a work visa, right? So when she first got here, she was working under the table, babysitting, watching kids,
Mm-hmm.
being a nanny, right? And so now she wanted to be on the books. So she's going through the proper channels to get her paperwork, and then COVID hit,
Got you.
right? So that put a halt on her process moving faster because COVID done hit.
Mm-hmm.
Since I've known her about 7, 8 years, she's still trying to become a citizen here in
Oh,
this country.
they definitely
That,
gonna make it harder now.
that is crazy. And then I remember having a conversation with her just recently, and I'm like, she was like, "Yo, I want to go down to the immigration. They told me to come down there, but I'm scared if I go down there, ICE is gonna snatch me up." You
Yeah,
understand? So she can't even check the status of
yeah,
her citizenship
yeah.
to push it forward, all because scared of that if she
Or the
go,
stain.
ICE
Yes.
is gonna grab her up.
Or,
And obviously, those who are dealing with this, they're seeing or they're noticing that ISIS is at immigration. Where
yeah.
else would I catch y'all at? Y'all gotta come here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Makes sense. You understand? It's just
We get
like
you.
you put cheese on a mousetrap. You gotta go there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So again, another stupid decision made by this administration. By first thing you come into the office, you feel as though if this country was that bad off, that we had so many bad people that were coming here and destroying the country, your first business or order was to do all these raids and get illegal people out here. They're not worrying about the economy, not worrying about healthcare, not worrying about these high ass
And
rents and mortgages and all that.
not just that, it's not all people. It's just it's a chosen group. Let's keep it 100. It's just a chosen group. It's not all immigrants. It's just a chosen group. Unfortunately, they just don't have the complexion for the protection. So it's just a chosen group of people. That's really all that is. It doesn't affect the others, but it affects many of the people that they deem to be dangerous or deem to be a problem.
A criminal.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I'm just gonna say this, man. When 2020, well, the election just passed last week, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully everybody went out and did what they needed to do
I
at that election, because
Yeah.
these are the elections that build up to the one that
Yes.
we're gonna have in 2028. So I just
Mm-hmm.
hope that in 28 people come out and do what they supposed to do. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Do what they
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do. I'm pretty sure because another 3 years of this, people gonna be like, "Yo, we can't take no more. We can't.
Yeah.
We literally can't take anymore. Or we can't take other someone that's thinking like him either. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's coming in with the same ideologies. But Project 2025 is in full effect.
It's in full effect, most definitely, most
In
definitely.
full effect. It's in full effect.
Listen, I do want to share, get your shit together. That I do have, and I'll make it quick. My get your shit together is going out to us, the black man, and I can't say the black woman. I'll say the black man. The black man. I think we need to get our shit together. I think we need to find a way, find a common ground to handle our differences in house and not publicly. I think, and that goes for family, friends, even these celebrities. I see a lot of these people in roles of in a position where they may be good, but we tend to spew our negativity on other people talking about. That's like me talking about you to another race. One thing about JMC is I will never discredit nobody of my culture to another culture.
Mm.
Anything, if I feel a way about you, it's gonna stay in my house, or I'm gonna talk, or I'm gonna discuss it with you. We need to get our shit together. We too public with our beefs. We too public with the disdain and dislike of one another to the world. That's why we even if we didn't get along, nobody should know that but us. So we need to get our shit together. We need to unify just for the culture.
I would piggyback on that, and I would just say that this administration, just the government in general, right? Or this country as in general, right? Red or blue or independence, get it
Mm-hmm.
together. So get this because your beef, you may be standing for one thing, right? But your stance is affecting a whole lot of other people. So figure this stuff out, get it together, and let's move on if we can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so my get your shit together goes out to the country. Everybody, the left fighting against the right fighting against the left. Figure this out and come to a common ground. One thing about arguments, you're not going to get everything you want, but if you get most of what you're asking for, you should be good. You understand what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, just get your shit together and get this country back to where it should be.
And let's support our black sisters, our black women. Shout out to all the black women in America
Shout out to
and the
Black
world doing their thing because they are the backbone. They are the most intelligent. They doing their numbers. Let's get them back to work. It's your man Champ C. I'm going
your favorite
vocal.
Republican, and I'm talking my shit.
That's what he do. We
Mm-hmm.
out.